Alright, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today we're going to be talking finally about what equipment you need to properly wax and tune your skis. Now, I've looked online for like beginner kits and I'm going to be honest, a lot of them kind of stink. They're missing key essential things you need and then they like throw in some kind of junky things that you don't really ever need. So today I'm going to build a beginner setup for how to wax your skis and things you really need to properly wax and tune your skis. Without doxing myself, I ordered all three of these orders on May 9th. I ordered from Utah Ski Gear, which is very similar in name to Utah Skis. I don't know if they're related or not. And then I ordered from Backcountry.com and then I ordered from Utah Skis. So, Utah Ski Gear was the fastest. Of course, they had a small envelope, which I really appreciate. A lot of this stuff is not delicate. What do they call this, a bubble wrap mailer? Yeah. I used to work in shipping logistics, so I find this interesting, but you can skip ahead if you don't. Utah Ski Gear got here the fastest. Granted, I'm in Idaho, which is only one state over from Utah, but these were delivered on May 10th. So these only took a day to get here. Granted, I ordered pretty early in the morning, but this was extremely fast. And then second place was Backcountry.com. This was delivered on May 11th, so it took 2 days for the Backcountry order to get here. Pretty good. It was a box full of a bunch of stuff. And then I had UtahSkis.com, which were delivered today, and that took 6 days to get here. So again, this is a much heavier package, so it's not a perfect test, but if you're ever curious about who ships faster or, I don't know, wanted to know between those, and I believe Backcountry is out of Utah as well, so it's a pretty fair race for all of them. All of them are located near Salt Lake City, so a pretty fair race amongst all of them, and Utah Skis was the slowest. Now, Utah Skis had the best price for their product, so you know, if you're in a huge rush, maybe consider ordering from one of the others. I'll have links down below for everything. But I did find their pricing to be the most competitive. They do support the channel the most with their affiliate link. So, but you know, as always, I'm gonna be honest before I tell you anything else. So, full disclosure, I'll have affiliate links for all of these products down below. But I did find that Utah Ski Gear and Backcountry ship significantly faster. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let me run through my fundamentals with you. Now the first thing I ordered, just because it had a lot of what I wanted, is this Dakine Super Tuning Kit. Now this is the one that comes with the iron. You could have saved 10 bucks and gotten a Swix or Dakine iron separately, but it's like, this one came with a bigger bag and I'd rather just have everything organized. I have kids at home and my garage is full of bikes in the summer. I'd rather have everything contained with a bigger bag. So the extra 10 bucks is worth it for me. But you know, you can find lots of irons. And when I looked at the irons, they all looked pretty much the same. They're probably made in the same factory, honestly, because the dimensions and everything look identical. If you're looking for a really nice iron, Swix has some different options. But for somebody who's doing a basic wax job, it doesn't matter too much. You just want to make sure it gets hot enough that you can get the wax drip evenly. So, let's see what Dakine has in their kit. No big surprise, the majority of this kit is taken up by their iron. The first thing they had is this kind of Brillo pad. This is almost useless. You can use it on your bases, but when I worked in the shop, I almost never used this. Honestly, what I would probably use this is like to clean something. If I had some edges that were really dirty, get a little WD-40 and try to just take the rust off. But a nice bag, actually. I think that was probably worth it. Oh, they pack this like jerks. Come on. Okay, this fits easily with just the iron. But because it's in the box, the strap doesn't open up enough. Jerks. Okay. Okay, here you got the Dakine tuning iron. Okay, the picture is black and white. Alright. Here we have our Dakine waxing iron. This actually feels pretty sturdy, pretty good plastic handle. This looks exactly like the Swix one. I would not be surprised if they're both made in the same, you know, Chinese warehouse. But this is suitable, it'll work well. Has this nice drip pan, yeah, overall pretty decent iron. Here's the stuff we're really looking for. The iron is nice, but you can get that anywhere, and the bag is nice. Okay, it comes with 2 sticks of P-Tex. These are like 80 cents or $1. So, I mean, they throw them in there and they have nice little holders for them, but it's not a lot of value there, kind of like the Brillo pad. Here's what we're really looking for. Okay, we got a decent stone here. Can use that for cleaning up our edges. Got a little bit of wax. This isn't enough to last you more than a couple of waxes, but it's fine. Here's what we really want. The file guide. Now, this is a 2-degree angle, or 88 degrees, however you want to say it. It's not great. Ideally, for race skis, I run a 3-degree side, but those like designated ones are very expensive, and this one came with the kit, and it's very easy to use. I like the way it kind of clamps down, and it already comes with a file in there, and it comes with a secondary file. This is really what I'm after for putting a nice, clean, sharp edge on my skis. Now, I'm out west. My edges being at 3 degrees and being perfect all the time isn't super necessary, but it's a nice way to clean up the edges. So this is one of the most important pieces of this kit. Part of why I bought it, because buying those designated clamps with the side guide and a file adds up quickly. I found a lot of the value was here in the side guide. You also get a pretty decent file. You always want the arrow pointed down like this when you're doing it, but I'll show you that later. But you get this little file inside of it, and then you get a pretty decent file with the kit, and also a place to hold it, because files, you know, just destroy the rest of the stuff in packaging with them. So it's nice that it has its own little sleeve there. Also comes with a scraper. You know, this is like 10 bucks, but nice to have. And it's nice and big too, so you can use it on a snowboard or a ski. I don't know, I like a little leverage when I'm scraping. Then you also have your metal scraper. You won't typically use these a ton unless you're using it to scrape off the P-Tex. And then with the P-Tex, you just take a lighter and you drip it on. Not the most necessary thing, but still useful to have when you want to clean that off. So this is what comes in the Dakine kit. Oh, you also have this brass brush. Okay, this is the most useless crap I've ever seen. What are you supposed to do with this little brush? Am I missing something? This is totally useless. This is like so they could say, oh, it's a complete kit because you have a brush. This is useless. You need to get a real brush if you buy this kit. Everything else, what is this kit missing? This kit is missing a gummy stone, probably for detuning your tips and tails, although the way skis are now, it's not as big of a deal. It's missing a real brush. This is practically useless. And it's missing a base guide. So the kit has about 75% of what you need. The big thing being the iron and just a bag to carry all your junk around in. But full disclosure, if you buy this kit, this is not a one and done kit that you're getting. There's definitely stuff missing. Put this back away and then I'll show you the rest of the stuff I got to complete the kit. I really like this bag actually. I normally hate kind of cheap stuff, but look, the way this cinches down, you can cinch your iron down and it's not gonna go anywhere. That's like the biggest hassle of the irons, is them just clanking around and getting broken. God, this bag is kind of a cheap piece of crap, but you know what? You just need it to hold your stuff. So this kit was $145. I found it cheapest on Utah Skis, but I will put a link down below if you're interested in it, and I'll have every item on here below, so you can purchase if you want, if you find that helpful. It does support the channel a little bit, but mostly just so it's useful for you. Next, let's talk about the things that weren't in the kit that I think are crucial, that I really think everybody should have. Okay, the first thing I bought that wasn't on the list, the Swix Gummy Stone. It's got that distinct red color. It's really good for detuning your skis, but also if you have skis that are really rusty or you haven't been storing properly, this is a really good way to clean them up. I use this one in the shop a ton. You can also typically you can use WD-40 or, you know, a little bit of water, whatever, to kind of keep it lubricated, but it's a really good way to clean up your edges and to detune the tips and tails. So that was $15, and a base bevel. Now this is a 1/2 degree base. This is what I like to tune my skis at. This was $10, or this was $20. These are a lot more expensive if you get different kinds of them. I've always loved my beast gear and I find it to be really budget friendly. This is very old, but it works great. And honestly, this is all you need, really. And you don't tune your bases that often anyway. but it's good, useful to have, and the kit didn't have it. I'm not sponsored, by the way, by Utah Ski Gear, and I'm not even an affiliate of them, but I will still put a link down below because this stuff was useful. All right, finally, this is the stuff I got from backcountry.com. I do have an affiliate code for them, and I will have links down below. I got a couple of things that were superfluous, but I think are important. But the big things that I got that were pretty budget friendly were, and I don't have the prices on any of them, but I'll put a screenshot on the price later. But the first thing I got, I want to say this was like 15 to 20 bucks, was this Dakine brass brush. This was the best budget one. You really want a brass brush because it's going to be able to get the big chunks of wax off after you scrape. And this one was the most budget friendly. You can get brushes from like $40 to $60. This one was around 20 bucks. It's such a good deal. It's not as ergonomic with that square handle, but you really only have to do a couple of passes with the brass brush, and that's really gonna do a lot of the heavy lifting for getting the wax out of your skis, or at least like the excess wax out of the pores of your skis. So I thought this was a great value, and I was really happy with this purchase. You know, this is far superior to that little tiny, mouth toothbrush that they give you in the Dakine kit. The next thing I found was a horsehair brush. I think this is key for getting a really clean finish on waxing your skis. It's also more ergonomical. I picked this one in the ergonomic one because it gets a lot more mileage. But this is your horsehair brush by TOKO. I want to say it was around 45 bucks. My memory could be, misleading me, so I'll put a, picture down below. But I really like TOKO products. I think they're just as good as Swix or any other brand. This feels good. It has a customized strap, so when you're putting a lot of mileage, I think that if you're gonna get a brush that's horsehair, get a nice big oval one so you have plenty of room to kind of sweep through. In my opinion, it's your final and most important pass on your skis. So, the other thing that TOKO makes and Backcountry sells is a Vise grip. Now, this can be essential if you just have a base workbench and nothing else. You can get the workbench. There are workarounds. I've seen people, and I've done this in the past, where I've used just a circular trash can and rubber bands around the brakes. You can do that, or if you just have a basic workbench, you can put the TOKO on it. You can buy, or you can put the Vise grip on it. You can buy ski specific wax benches that fold up. I think those tend to be kind of a waste of money. Most folding tables, like backyard tables, would work fine. But, if you really want to spend the money on that, you can. I think it's kind of a waste. I didn't buy any Vise grips because on my workbench, I have a large Vise grip. So I'm just going to kind of jerry-rig it and put a block of wood underneath to hold it stable. You'll see in my later video, but you may need Vise grips. I will put a link down to the one that I would get if I were you. I think TOKO makes nice Vise grips, and they tend to be a lot less expensive and pretty premium. I've never had one fail on me. The type of Vise grips you get is important. You want one with a big clamp because, in my opinion, you should be able to hold your skis flat. They have Vise grips where it only allows you to have the ski sideways. In my opinion, that's not good for waxing and brushing. And it's good for tuning, but you can get away with tuning your ski flat. You just have to be careful. So, anyway, you may need Vise grips. I don't. I'm gonna get away without it. And if you absolutely need to do your skis, you can get a plastic trash can for less than the whole setup. But just beware, that's the one thing that's really missing from my kit that I didn't include. So that is all of the essentials that you need. I've got a side guide for my file, I've got a base guide, I've got an waxing iron, I've got wax, and I've got 2 brushes. Now, here are a couple of things that I bought that I didn't need to, but I think are huge if you're gonna wax your skis for a long time. One, I bought a nicer scraper, a nice Swix Scraper, because the edges are sharp and it gives you a clean scrape. I have had a lot of different scrapers in my day, and just having a good scraper makes your life a lot easier when it comes to the rest of the steps of brushing. So get a good scraper, and then over time, this thing is worth its weight in gold. A scraper sharpener. Now, it's not totally important, but for the same reason a good scraper is important, a good scraper sharpener long term is also important, because over time these get rounded off, they become unsharp, and it really just creates a lot of manual labor for you. In my opinion, if I'm making a recommendation, buy a good one of these. It's nice to have sharp scrapers. It makes it feel better as you're scraping, and it makes the process a lot easier. So these are 2 kind of add-ons: getting an extra scraper in case you lose one or whatever, and getting a good beefy scraper. And then scraper sharpeners, I think, are awesome. I'll also probably buy some all-temp wax as well. But for the purpose of this video, you know, the amount that the Dakine gives you is enough to get started. So anyway, that's my buying guide on what kind of tuning and waxing equipment. I will have a video out probably next week sometime showing you how to use all of this gear. I will have links down below for all of this. But I hope you found that helpful. I'm pretty surprised that I couldn't just one-stop shop and get everything I needed. I used to have a big toolbox with all of this stuff, and a couple of times I moved across country and it got lost in the move. But I think that if you started with everything I bought, you'd be off to a good start. Like I said, you may need vice grips depending on what your setup looks like. The vice grips are nice because you could just put them on like a plastic workbench or whatever, or just get one of those, you know, folding tables from Costco. You could even just have around trash can and work with this kit I just set up. So anyway, I hope you found that video helpful. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. But more than anything, just thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.